broadcast receivers. Hello, everyone. Now, we're going to talk about broadcast receivers in Android devices in this particular video. The broadcast receiver is a messaging system used on Android devices, but this messaging system is used between the Android operating system and Android applications. The Android operating system shares device-related information with Android applications. Bet you didn't know that, huh? So this device-related information can be just simple stuff like the device battery level, whether it's connected to Wi-Fi or not, whether the device starts to charge, or is the device in airplane mode or not, all that kind of stuff. So if the application wants to know some of this information or all of it, it will subscribe to the operating system in order to get this information. So when these system events occur, the operating system sends a broadcast message to any of the subscribed applications. The Android operating system sends these messages when these system events occur. So this is really important because whenever one of the system events occurs, Android operating system sends broadcast messages at that particular time. For example, if you want your application to learn when the device battery is low, you will need to subscribe your application to that specific system event. And when the device battery is low, the Android operating system will send a message to your application. That's why it's called a broadcast message. Or if you want your application to know when the device is connected to Wi-Fi, you can subscribe your application to that system event. And whenever the device is connected to Wi-Fi, the Android operating system will send a broadcast message to your application. Now, when your Android device gives a warning to you that the battery is low, it also sends this message to all of the subscribed applications. Also, when the Android device switches into airplane mode, or the user does that, the system sends this message to all of the subscribed applications. So all this makes sense, right? So how are you going to use this information for Android application? So our application subscribes to the information that we want. Android operating system does not send every bit of information or system events. We subscribe to system events, whichever one we will need in our particular application. I cannot be more clear than that. So we take information from the system, but where are we going to use this information? For example, you develop an application, and this application saves user photos on a server. Now, such an application allows a user to access their photos from anywhere. Okay, it's a great feature, really useful. But how will you send the photos to the server? If you send every photo to the server when the photo was taken, it will pretty rapidly use up the user's mobile data, right? Because a user can even take hundreds of photos in a few seconds. So this is probably not a good feature for an application. Nobody wants to use that kind of data-sucking application, right? So what you do is you save photos in the device memory, and then when the device is connected to Wi-Fi, you can then send the photos to the server. So it's this kind of thinking and this kind of feature that will reduce the user's mobile data consumption. That's how you get a good reputation, by the way. So if you want to develop this kind of application, you will need to learn when the device is connected to Wi-Fi. Your application can subscribe to system events, and when the device is connected to Wi-Fi, the Android operating system sends a broadcast receiver message to the application. And then after this message, your application starts to send the user photos to the server. Now also, when the device is disconnected from Wi-Fi, the system will send a message again to the application, and your application will stop sending photos to the server, right? Now, where else do you figure we can use this broadcast receiver? Well, let's say, for example, applications that verify by message can use the broadcast messaging system. Many applications are using message validation systems such as WhatsApp and Viber, and some of them, when the message comes in, read the message automatically. So you can develop this kind of application using broadcast messaging. Your application subscribes to the system event, and when a new message comes into the phone, your application will know this. And then after that, your application can read this message automatically. Now, let me give you another example. When a device battery is low, the system will send a message to the subscribed applications. So after the application gets the message, the application can stop its background tasks. So then this both reduces the device battery consumption and it prevents sudden interruption of the background task. And then when the battery level is normal, the system sends another message to the applications. Then after they get this message, the applications can then restart their background tasks. So the use of broadcast messages when designing an application is really important for the more efficient and better quality applications, which is what you want to build, I'm sure. Okay, so I also want to mention this. So broadcast messaging system can be used between two applications. That's right, we're going to step it up. It means that one application can send a broadcast message to another application, but most of the time it's used between the Android operating system and Android applications. Okay, so that's all the theory. Let's go into the Android Studio and learn broadcast receivers in practice. So here I've created a new Android Studio project. If you want, you can use your previous project. Now, if we want to get the broadcast message, first we will need to create a receiver class. So I'll just right-click on the main activity class, and then after that I'll select New, Java class. And I need to give a name to this class. Name can be Broadcast Example. And click OK. All right, so now we have a broadcast example class. So this class needs to extend the broadcast receiver class. And I'll just write here, extends broadcast receiver. Then after that, we'll need to add some unimportant methods. I will click here and select Implement Methods. Now in here, I'll select onReceive method and click OK. Now, Android Studio added the onReceive method. So after that, I'll write my codes in the onReceive method. Now, before I continue, I need to define this class in the manifest file. There are two ways to get these broadcast receivers. First one is the manifest declared receivers, and the second one is context registered receivers. And we're going to learn both of these in this video. So we're going to start with manifest declared receivers. So I'll open up the manifest file, and under the activity tag, I will define my receiver class. And I'll just write in here, receiver, Android, name, and class name, receiver example. After that, I'll close the receiver tag. And inside the receiver tag, I will write action tag. So in here, I will select broadcast receiver type. And I mean which system events I want to know when it happens. That's what I select here. And you can see here which system events you can take from the receiver. For example, action power, connected and disconnected. This event sends a receiver to the application when the device is connected to the charger or disconnected from the charger. Another one is airplane mode. When the device switches into airplane mode, the system will send a receiver to the application. Another two are battery low and battery OK. You can learn the device charge status by using these methods. Now another one, device storage is low. So this is also a very good method because when the device storage is low, your application can take a receiver, and then after that, you can start a background task to delete some useless files on the device storage. So of course, there are a lot of methods here, and you can research every one of them yourself. I just want to give you that hands-on, nitty-gritty, nuts and bolts kind of feel, right? For example, reboot. This message will send a broadcast message when the device is rebooted. Another two are screen on and screen off. So if you want to start something when the device screen is on or off, you can use these methods. What I'm going to do is select airplane mode in this example. And after that, I will close the action tag. Now, when the device switches to airplane mode, the system will send a broadcast receiver to my broadcast example class. And I will take this message in the onReceive method. Then after that, I can do whatever I want with the message. In this example, I will show a toast message when the device is switched to airplane mode. And I'll just write in here toast.makeText. And it wants three parameters. The first one is context. Second one is message. And the message can be devices in airplane mode. And the last one is toast message time. And I'll write toast.length long and .show. Now, when the device is switched to airplane mode, the system will send a broadcast message to the broadcast example class. After it gets this message, the broadcast example class will show a toast message to the user. Now, if you want to do another thing or start another task, you can write it in the onReceive method. So let's run the application and we'll see if it works or not. So the application opens. I will change it to airplane mode. So I will change it. And you see, when I change the airplane mode status, it showed me the toast message. So this method notifies the application when the device changes into airplane mode. What does that mean? When the device switches to airplane mode or switches back to normal mode, the system will send a broadcast message. Cool. So now, how will I understand the device is switched to airplane mode or to normal mode? I need to learn the device is in airplane mode or not. So while the system is sending a broadcast message, it also sends a Boolean parameter. Now, if I use this Boolean parameter, I can learn the device status. When the airplane mode is open, let's say, the parameter will be true. When airplane mode is off, the parameter will be false. And I'll create a container to catch this Boolean parameter. And I'll write Boolean is plain mode equals intent dot get Boolean extra. So this method will take two parameters, First one is keyword, and it will take the message using this keyword. And the system sends the message with the same keyword. The keyword is state. Second one is default value. And I'll give the default value false. If the device switches from normal mode to airplane mode, the system will send true. If the device switches from airplane mode to normal mode, system will send false, right? And I will create an if-else condition. If is airplane mode equals true, it will show this toast message. Else, it will show an other toast message. Message will be device is not in airplane mode. So let's run it again and see that. So the application opens, and when I switch to airplane mode, it shows the toast message. Device is in airplane mode. And when I switch to normal mode, it shows the toast message. Device is not in airplane mode. Excellent. So this is how manifest declared broadcast works. Now, of course, I can grab some other system events using this broadcast message. Also, there's another way to get those broadcast receivers. It is called context-registered receivers. I'm sure you remember that from the beginning. So now I want to show you this method, and then you can choose whichever one you want for whatever purpose you're going to do, which is designing excellent applications. So first I'm going to delete this declaration in the manifest file because I really won't be using it like this anymore. I will not change anything in the broadcast example class. So you know what? Let's go to the main activity class and create an object of the broadcast example class. And I will write here, broadcast example, BR equals new broadcast example. Now after that, in the onCreate method, I will create an object of intent filter class. And I will write intent filter, filter equals new intent filter. Then on the second line, filter dot add action. And then inside the parenthesis, intent dot. And now, can you see this right here? All of the methods you saw in the manifest file are all here now. So now you can select one of these methods. For example, airplane mode, screen on and off, boot completed. All of these methods are here. So I'm going to select airplane mode changed. Then after that, I'll write this dot register receiver. So this method will take two parameters. The first one is object of the broadcast receiver class, BR. Second one is object of the intent filter class, filter. Okay, so now it's going to work. So when the application works, it will take the receivers in the receiver example class. So while the system is sending broadcast receiver, it will also be sending the Boolean parameter. If it is true, it will show this toast message. And if it is false, it will show another toast message. But before the run, I do need to say something. Are you ready for this? Just plan. So I need to register this method in the onStart method and unregister it in the onStop method. Yeah? Hopefully you thought of that too. But why is that? Because it will take receivers when the application is open, and it will not take receivers when the application is closed. Right. So I will write in the onStop method this .unregisterReceiver BR. And when I unregister the receiver, I'll write just the object of the broadcast receiver. So let's go ahead and run the application. Application is open. Device is in airplane mode. And when I switch back to normal, it shows a toast message. Device is not in airplane mode. And when I switch to airplane mode again, it shows a toast message. Device is in airplane mode. Now, if I close the application, will it continue to take the receiver? So I close the application and change the device to airplane mode status. And as you see, it does not show the toast message. So what does that mean? The application will not take broadcast receivers anymore because I unregistered it in the onStop method. So when the application passes onto the onStop method, it will not take those broadcast receivers anymore. That makes sense, right? So the application will take broadcast messages when the application is in the foreground. You can change this according to your needs, of course, but I'm going to be leaving it all up to you. So what do you think? I think it's enough for this video. I hope it's useful for you. Go back and practice if you need to review anything, and I will see you in the next video.